G'day guys, welcome back to Bags of Fish. Keeping it short today, keeping it real. The fish room is well and truly at a point where I am petrified. Have to move tanks from the other room across to this room, so that means moving fish from there into some of the tanks that I've got prepared. It's a big step and I'm not looking forward to the move. However, I'm really looking forward to the end result. So hopefully, stick around. I'll show you what I've done from the last video to this one and some of the, I suppose, techniques that I've employed to make it a more efficient room. Thanks for watching. See you. Okay guys, first is first, the usual. It's not a pristine clean room. I'm not scared to show you. It's like a bomb's gone off here in the corner. Another 4 foot by 18 tank that I need to do a reseal on. I picked it up secondhand yesterday. It was clearly used as maybe a turtle tank. However, the glass is really good. It's not scratched on the top, just down the bottom. But someone had a crack at resealing this some time ago and didn't do a great job. I think they used the wrong silicone. So their loss, my win. I need these size tanks for this stand that I've just put in. Ta-da! In the middle, running down the center there. It is a 45 centimeter wide tank, as are the ones on the side. So I had to run with the same width, but aisle number 2, as I'm going to call it, is looking fantastic. There's water in all the tanks, have all been tested. As you can probably hear in the background, I have an air pump running with 3 seeded sponge filters, so they're out of existing tanks, and I've also placed heaters in those aquariums as I'm going to want to move livestock into them very shortly. I'm thinking that my Corydoras rack will be the first to go because that's all my 2 foot tanks, which will reside over here. In any case, let me give you a look down aisle number 2. So what I've done is I've got myself some K2 media, and these tanks are, these filters aren't running just yet, but the center section there you can see is K2. So I'm hoping that once the air blower is turned on and the media starts to get a little bit seeded and weighted, that will be a free-flowing media bed, and I'll run some sponge or filter wool here in this section. Not too much because I only want to pick up the fines, and have another sponge filter working in the tank also. In any case, all of those tanks are now plumbed down to the drainage with their overflows. Bulkheads are in for this section down here. I just need to work out a fitting for 90 degrees out, whereby I can do a quick dump of water if required. Very happy with how it's come up. I'll have to source glass for cover glass, as I definitely want to keep tanks covered in this room to prevent as much humidity as I can. However, with time comes, I can't remember what they say, I can't remember the saying. In any case, good things come with time. There it is. The airlines are all plumbed. I do, however, on the top tanks have to run some one-way valves on the airline because I don't want the water to track back down into the air system. Inkbird switches at the ready. So all these tanks now are ready with their K2. This was the section that I was talking about in my last video, where I found some new channel and some leaf grate. That's leaf guard for in your gutters, and I've cut it down to size. It's just a nice size mesh, and it'll prevent the K2 obviously coming forward into this section here when I do a release of any water. Spinning around, the elephant in the room, 20-inch water filters. So coming in from the faucet down into 20-inch canister number 1, and that is a sediment filter. Canister number 2 is an activated carbon filter, and then that rises up and goes into my solenoid bank. These, as I've said before, are run by the ink bird there on the left, and 1 through 8 running left to right. So they will run to different stations different racks throughout my system, and be all automated. I have left it open on this side with a ball valve, a metal ball valve there, because my intentions are to come through the wall with my rainwater. So I can alternate between the two. I can either turn this tap off and run solely on rainwater, or turn the rainwater off and go back to town water. Obviously the rainwater doesn't need the chlorinator, however I will put a sediment filter on it. Looking up the wall, pretty happy with my plumbing job. It's come out quite well. Not that I have tested it for leaks yet, folks. Trust me, the day is near. The electric device there in the middle is a humidity controller, and once it's all turned on and the humidity controller is set, it will operate the ceiling fan. So if the humidity gets too high in here, it'll kick the fan on, pull fresh air in from the cross vent, which is situated all the way over there in the door, and pull fresh air in there and up through the ceiling. Little switch here is for a oscillating fan in the corner. I just have to reroute the power lead. I've just put it up there, and it will be for when the blower's turned on, just to move air around the blower, keep it cool, and it will also help to move the air in the room in total. So very happy with how this is coming up. It's looking nice and neat and tidy. Not much more to say about it really. With this rack, obviously I have to run air. So the air ladder is just starting. I've just started on that today, and I'm only going to run 2 lines, one for the very top and one down here in the middle. Just for the fact that this rack, again, won't have many tanks on it, but it will be needed for the other side when I do that. Speaking of which, let's go around there. Before we do, this is one of the tanks that was broken, with a new pane of glass installed in the front, so it's nice and shiny and new on the front, and ready to be plumbed. I don't have a ball valve for this yet, so I can't put it in. See there down the bottom, had to drill a hole for the ball valve to go through. But I have one more of these tanks, which unfortunately the glass is a fraction large, so I will pull apart the whole tank and rebuild it basically from scratch. In case another second-hand 4x18 by 18, definitely needs some white vinegar to remove the calcification on the glass, and I'll give it a polish when the time comes. But it's in position. I just need foam for under those tanks. Need foam for all of these shelves actually. Looking down, you can see I ended up putting in my siphon position, so I will, once I get the opportunity, change the size of the pipe and make it so that I've got a narrower pipe fitting here, so I can just bang the hose down into it after I've started the siphon, and it will flow away and down and out the drain. So one very low on that side, one a bit higher on this side. You can never have too many drain points, I don't think. Back looking past all the mess, and around the corner. So this being aisle number 1, you can see again, I've started the air ladder on the side. I've just capped it at the moment because I was testing the blower the other day to see how it operated in the tanks, and trust me when I say it's like a jet engine's going off. The air only for that rack of tanks on that side is way too high, hence why I've just put on a small air pump to manage the tanks that I'm going to put the livestock in for I suppose the initial part of the move. Down the bottom I've got my 90mm drainage. This section of the pipe, if I tap it with my foot, from the T-piece here through to the floor, isn't glued into position yet. I want to make sure what's going to happen down in there. I actually want a really low-lying tray that will fit under the shelf here, that the pipe will come into, and then I'll have almost like a funnel system in the middle of the tray, which the water will go down through, but then I can run some of that Japanese matting like I've got in the filters just in the tray to stop any duckweed. And worst case scenario, if I happen to have a fish go down a siphon tube or anything like that, I have an opportunity at this location to save it and recover it before it heads off out into my natural swimming pool. And that's the main reason for me wanting to stop the duckweed as well, is that I don't want duckweed in my natural swimming pool. It's hard enough as it is with actual wild ducks flying in there and leaving a zola and all sorts of stuff. It's quite the maintenance chore. Okay, this side, the 2-foot rack side. 60 centimetres deep. The shelves, as I think I might have said before, 2.591 long. So in total I will fit 18 2-foot tanks lengthways, deep ways, sorry, so end to end down this rack. The top is for my current Corydoras rack, which is standard 2-foot tanks. I think they're maybe 60 by 14 by 14 maybe. They're only a small tank, but they will be across the top, and they'll probably only reach, once they're on the foam, the top here of this stand, the side, which is good for feeding, and I will be utilising it again for the Corydoras in the first part. Below that is my other 2-foot rack, which are Petworks tanks, and they're slightly taller. I think they're about 40 centimetres tall. I'm just guessing here, folks, because I can't really remember. But as you can see behind, 90mm pipe running end to end on all 3 levels. There's one down on the floor, and that will be for the drainage. So I'll utilise a hole saw, tap into the back of this for the overflow of the 2-foot tanks, and away it will run down to the end where I've got it joined again to the floor drain. So 45 degrees down from the top to the middle tee. There's really no way I will be pushing that much water through a 90mm pipe, but as I've said before, 90mm pipe and its fittings are far cheaper than any other size pipe you will find. So better to have more room for drainage than less, and take that risk. So obviously if you fill a pipe with water, it will move less than if it's got air in it. Hope that makes sense to you. Sounded right coming out of my brain, not so much when it came out of my mouth. In any case, that is where I am at. So as I've stated, I am ready now to start moving livestock, and it is absolutely petrifying me. I will be catching Corydoras and some angel fry, things like that, and placing them into these 4-foot tanks for the first instance. I don't want to clean the tanks up too much, however I'd love to get rid of the duckweed out of them, or anything that I'm not going to run as much hardscape in them as I have in my old room, but I'll bring them in. Have to purchase a new hose, I'm sure, that'll reach the drains. But this foil board, it's an insulation foil. It's covered with, insulation foam. It's polystyrene, as you would normally use under a fish tank. And on both sides of it, it's got like an aluminium foil adhesed to the surface. So it's going to make it nice and easy to slide the tanks across without damaging the foam. It's always for those fish keepers out there, you're going to dig into a corner or break the foam trying to do these things. But what I've done is I've used a spray adhesive just to adhere it a little bit to the board. Purchased the foil foam foam from our local Bunnings store. They were 2.4 sheets by 1.2, so one sheet made 2 shelves, 3 sheets total, 28 bucks a piece, nearly $100 in foam. But just again, slightly better value than doing the big tank foam that I did with the gym mats on this side. Much of a muchness, but with the smaller tanks I felt that the polystyrene was going to be sufficient, and given that there's a lot of individual tanks, there needs to be more room for movement, so polystyrene has a little bit more give in it than the dense foam. There you have it. If anyone was wondering, the air valves threaded on one end from AliExpress. Occasionally you'll get one that's missing something, like this one here is missing its little T-piece. It's not the end of the world. You buy them for basically $1 a piece if you're keen on watching AliExpress. I only use those for air now because if you put water through them, they will calcify or rust on you. So they're only used in my air lines. What do you think? So there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining me on a little update of my fish room. It's not a whole lot to see, however it's taken a whole lot to do. There's wiring of the solenoids and making it all look neat and tidy. Getting a little bit anal, I suppose, to make my fish room look the best I can for the start of its journey. We all know what happens with time. Thank you for joining me on this magical mystery tour of a fish room build. It's bumped into a couple of people in different aquariums around Melbourne, and I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the thumbs up that you're giving me. It helps motivate me to keep going. There's a big job yet to come, and as I say, petrified to move these fish, but it's going to happen, and then I have to knock down the old fish room and build something similar maybe. We'll see what happens. In any case, I hope you're checking out the Aquarium Society of Victoria Facebook page. We've got Corey McElroy, as I keep saying, coming out in October the 24th. He'll be speaking at the Melbourne Convention Centre. So if you're a fan of Corey's, it's probably one of the only opportunities you're going to have in a while to hear the man speak in person and get an opportunity probably to meet the man himself. Aquarium Society of Victoria are bringing him over to do this talk, and it's going to be a fantastic event. We've already got a couple of sponsors on board. Won't name them right now because have not yet ticked the box for commitment, but they assure me that they will. They're going to be assisting with door prizes and things like that. It's going to be a fantastic day. So for the $30 ticket, I dare say you're going to get more than your money's worth. Trust me. That's the intentions of the committee. Jump on our Facebook page, check out any updates. It's going to be a great one. Moving on. Thank you yet again. My next update will obviously have some fish in here. Looking forward to it. I'll have moved, hopefully, my 2-foot rack into the old 2-foot rack into the new 2-foot rack, and we'll have some progress there also. My old 2-foot system was a sump-fed system. However, this one's going to be air-driven. So a little bit of change. See how we go. Have a great one. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.